MBR TV studios with your host, Lucas Hart, bringing you this week's top stories from our 5 counties and from local communities such as Williamsburg, Corbin, Jellicoe, Oneida, Huntsville, Pine Knot, Whitley City, La Follette, Wartburg, and every point in between. Now it's time for news that affects and matters to you. Now it's time for the County and Country News.
Good evening and welcome to the Christian Conservative. I'm your host, Lucas Hart. We have a special guest with us tonight. Miss Jessica Chambers from the Samaritan's Purse is going to be here with us, so make sure you guys stick around. But first, let's get to the news. A deer chase damages businesses in Oneida. Wild white-tailed deer fleeing dogs crashed into an Oneida Plaza business Thursday morning, resulting in damage to the business and killing the animal. The bizarre incident drew a response from Oneida Police Department officers after patrons of a nearby business witnessed the deer crashing through a large glass window at the front of the business. The medium-sized female deer smashed the glass and wound up in a rear office of the U.S. Cellular store in Oneida Plaza at around 8 a.m. Thursday morning. The store had not yet opened for business when the deer, which was apparently chased from a wooded area in a nearby residential area across the 4 lanes of Alberta Street and into the retail heart of Oneida, crashed into the business. Oneida Police Department Chief Daryl Laxton and officers Jerry Garrett and Jason Pike responded to the store. However, there was nothing that could be done to save the deer. Witnesses said the result of the incident was a mess of broken glass and blood. No one was inside the store when the incident occurred. The dogs followed the deer into the store, but were uninjured. That was from your Independent Herald. This also from your Independent Herald. Not enough volunteers. It seems like for children who are the victims of abuse, facing their perpetrators in court may be the most daunting part of their path to recovery. The job of court-appointed social advocates is to be there each step of the way, representing their best interests before the courts. In a perfect world, such advocates wouldn't be needed. But the real world, where tragically too many children rely on these advocates, there aren't enough advocates to meet the demand. Currently, CASA of the Tennessee Heartland, which also serves Anderson County, represents 25 children in Scott County. Currently, there are more than 40 additional children who need an advocate, but who do not have one due to the lack of volunteers. This is our dilemma, says CASA County Coordinator Christy Harness. CASA relies almost exclusively on volunteers to represent the children assigned to them through the juvenile court system. After taking a case, advocates gather information from everyone involved with the case, from parents to teachers to DCS workers, before eventually making a recommendation to the court on the child's behalf. The difference between a child having a CASA volunteer and not having a CASA volunteer is the difference between possibly of a child finding a permanent home and not finding a permanent home, Harness said. That's an unbelievable difference. You cannot quantity that. CASA has maintained a presence in Scott County for 10 years. When CASA of the Tennessee Heartland first approached Judge Cotton about extending the program to the local community, since taking its first case on August 1st, 2001, has seen more than 450 children referred through the juvenile court. In a justice system that also includes the Children's Center of the Cumberlands and the Department of Children's Services advocating on behalf of children, CASA plays its own role. You want to get more on that story? Pick up your Independent Herald. Let's turn our attention now to Corbin. And the Times-Tribune out of Corbin. 1 injured and 1 dies in a Whitley fire. 2 people escaped, but another perished in a house fire on Sandy Flat Road in Williamsburg late Saturday. Whitley South Volunteer Fire Department was called to the home around 10:50 p.m., and Edward Brian Collins, 29, who was in a hospital bed, was still trapped in the burning house, according to Chief Wayne Honeycutt. The victim's mother and a friend escaped, but the mother was transported to Jellicoe Community Hospital for treatment for burns to her face and arms. The other who escaped was treated at the scene, Honeycutt said. Whitley County Coroner Andy Crawley said it has not been determined as of Monday why Collins was bedridden. Crawley and Collins' cause of death is still under investigation, with toxicology and autopsy reports pending. Collins' body was sent to the state medical examiner's office Monday for autopsy. Crawley said he did not know the victim, did call 911, and had reported the fire. All right, let's turn our attention now, if we could, to also the Times-Tribune. But they report here on our Cumberland Falls Park District. Because of a little bug that's causing some big damage to parts of the Cumberland Falls State Resort Park, 5 different agencies are involved in a battle to fight off that creature. Better known as the Hemlock Woolly Adelgid, the campaign to combat the bug is set to begin 3 weeks from today on January 9th. On that date, trees along Trail 9 in the park, that the 1.5 mile long Eagle Trail, voted the most popular trail in Kentucky, according to Kentucky Living magazine. And part of the Cumberland Falls State Park Nature Preserve will be inoculated with a process called soil drench, in which an insecticide is put around the base of the tree. The tree absorbs the insecticide, which kills the Hemlock Woolly Adelgid. There we go, got it right that time, Adelgid. The Cumberland Falls area has a large hemlock tree population, and the Hemlock Woolly Adelgid attaches itself to the hemlock needles on the tree and kills it. The bug is a native of the continent of Asia and was first reported in the United States in 1951. The Hemlock Woolly Adelgid made its way to Kentucky in 2006 and was first spotted in the Danube National Forest, in which the park is located, in 2008. Pick up your McCreary County, or your Times-Tribune if you want to catch more on that story. Now let's turn our attention here to McCreary County, and I got a story here breaking in from yesterday. The McCreary Fiscal Court voted 3-1 yesterday to award the new 5-year trash contract to Scott Solid Waste. After weeks of alleged controversy concerning the contract, one of the 3 bidders withdrew, and after much discussion, the board awarded the contract to Scott Solid Waste. Now, also in McCreary County, the McCreary County Fiscal Court does not meet in regular session until this evening. Members acted swiftly last Thursday to eliminate a huge weight bearing down on county coffers. Judge Executive Doug Stevens conducted a telephone poll Thursday to authorize a check to pay the American Civil Liberties Union of Kentucky for the county's share of the $456,000 federal judgment resulting from the decade-long Ten Commandments legal battle. Judge Stevens confirmed that a check totaling $232,634.17 was sent to the ACLU on last Friday, after the county had received a $237,000 loan from the Bank of McCreary County. Because the county needed a long-term loan, which would not be due at the end of the fiscal year next June 30th, the law firm of Peck, Schaefer, and Williams was enlisted for $5,000 to secure approval for the loan from the Kentucky Department of Local Government. The loan will be repaid over the course of the next 5 years. The goal had been to use a loan with relatively low interest to pay the ACLU, which had been charging its own interest the longer the debt went unpaid. Over $4,000 was racked up since the final judgment was handed down last spring. It's a huge relief to us not to have that accumulating judgment, Judge Stevens said. All right. Another story, we're going to turn our attention now, if we could, a little bit to Morgan County in the town of Oakdale. A Morgan County family is heartbroken after someone stole the wreath on a memorial to their son who died in a car crash 5 years ago. Jordan Langley, 16, and a fellow student, Jason Neal, 13, both died on December 11th on Airport Road in Oakdale. They were on their way to school. The families of both boys erected 2 6-foot-tall crosses where the boys died. Since Jordan's death, his family has had a tradition of putting a Christmas wreath on his cross. This year, I kind of went above and beyond, said Connie Reynolds, Jordan's aunt. I bought a wreath that has LED lights on it and added to with beautiful poinsettias, flowers, and fruit. The wreath was placed on his cross on Saturday. By Wednesday, it had been stolen. It's really painful, says Joanna Lawson, Jordan's mother. I would like to say whoever took it, I hope when they watch this, their face burns with shame and embarrassment that they stooped so low because the cross didn't mean anything to nobody, but for us, it brings comfort. The family already replaced the stolen wreath with another one. All right. This too just in McCreary County. The Arby's Holiday Classic Tournament is now underway. All this week, last night, Oneida defeated Casey County in Kentucky. Other teams in the Classic is Wayne County, Casey County, Lincoln County, Lexington Catholic, Bell County, Clay County, East Jasmine, and McCreary Central and Phelps from Kentucky, and Oneida from Tennessee. So, guys, it is underway right now. Make sure you get out there and catch some of that Arby's KFC Holiday Classic Tournament that is currently underway. Now over to Campbell County. A former Campbell County teacher was arrested Monday and charged with using drugs on school property. This is the second drug arrest for Stephen Peebley, 62. He had been a teacher at Campbell County High School for 35 years when he was caught cooking meth back in 2007. He also worked at a Christian radio station. It was about 2:30 Monday afternoon at Jacksboro Middle School when School Resources Officer Deputy Shane Wolfenbarger went to check out a suspicious vehicle in the parking lot. He reported he found Peebley and another man inside shooting up drugs. He was apologetic. "I was very stern that this is my school. These are my kids. Don't come here and do those kinds of things," Wolfenbarger said. Peebley used to coach football at the middle school. "Several of my children were out here on the sidewalk and observed everything that happened," Wolfenbarger said. "That influences other kids to be doing what they're doing, and what you don't want that sixth grader Ben Arnold, who had just graduated from the middle school DARE program an hour before the former role model was arrested. You just were told don't do this, but they still do it," Arnold said. "It is as bad as it gets, in my opinion. We'd been all day doing our DARE graduations at different schools. The kids have done a great job, really determined to fight drugs, and then they come outside, and just like we told them, it's real," said Sheriff Robbie Goins. Peebley is charged with possession of drugs, drug paraphernalia, and violating a drug-free school zone. Officials tell us that the man he was arrested with was Corey Overton, 34, is his son-in-law. Let's turn our attention a little bit to some Tennessee state news. The State Funding Board nearly doubled the state's growth estimates for tax collections, approving projections Monday that show Tennessee bringing the $187.8 million to $220.5 million more than it was budgeted. The board signed off on new estimates that show tax collections growing 3.9% to 4.21%, from about $412 million to $445 million during the current fiscal year, which ends June 30th. State budgeters previously had estimated tax collections would grow 2.12% this year, or $225 million. The board, which is made up of Tennessee's top financial officers, also estimated that tax collections will rise by another 3.4% to 3.65% next year. But Finance Commissioner Mark Emmix said the influx of tax dollars is still not enough to cover the growth costs of the programs such as TennCare, public education, and government pensions. Now let's turn our attention, if we would, for a moment, over to some Kentucky state news, for those of y'all that live in Kentucky. Republican Alicia Webb Eddington is the first of a potential crowded field of candidates to jump into the race to replace outgoing U.S. Representative Jeff Davis in Northern Kentucky's 4th Congressional District. Davis announced last week that he won't run for re-election next year so that he can spend more time with his family. Webb Eddington, a former state trooper and narcotics detective who went on to serve as head of the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, said Monday that she already has commitments for $100,000 in campaign contributions to begin the race. She has represented Kenton County in the state legislature since 2008. Several Northern Kentucky Republicans have expressed interest in running, including Tea Party favorite Thomas Massey of Vanceburg, a mechanical engineer and businessman who is now serving as Lewis County Judge Executive. That from the Kentucky.com. All right, little global news here. Kim Jong-il, the leader of North Korea, died on Sunday evening. North Korea news agencies reported that Kim Jong-il had died of fatigue from overworking to serve the people of North Korea. He was 69 years old. Because of possible ramifications of his death for North Koreans and the entire world, Opens Doors is calling for prayers for the country and the suffering Christians who live there. Today marks a significant day in North Korean history, says Open Doors USA President and CEO Dr. Carl Moeller. Though this brutal dictator who was responsible for so many atrocities has died, the future is still unknown. Some speculate that his son Kim Jong-un will be just as cruel to all dissenters. Others suggest that he may be more lenient. We simply don't know the future of North Korea, but God does, he says. This is why it is vital that Christians around the world pray for North Korea during the transitional time. Pray especially for the brave Christians inside North Korea. They are fearful that they might face even more suffering. There are an estimated 50,000 to 70,000 Christians being held in North Korean prison camps, where they face even more horrific treatment than other prisoners. People are starving to death, and the people of North Korea are living a nightmare that never ends. For the past 9 years, North Korea has held the #1 spot on the Open Doors World Watch list. The list ranks the top 50 countries which are the worst persecutors of Christians. The 2012 World Watch list will release on June 4th, with North Korea expected to retain the top spot. In a surprise visit to the White House briefing room to demand House Republicans compromise on a 2-month payroll tax extension, a demand that was promptly rejected, President Obama said Tuesday that the Senate legislation is the only viable way to prevent a tax hike on January 1st. It's the only one, Obama said shortly after the House voted to effectively reject a Senate measure to extend the payroll tax cut for 2 months. Speaking minutes later at a press conference with dozens of GOP members behind him, House Speaker John Boehner said that the House was already taking up the Senate bill, which only gives a $166 billion tax break to only gives a $166 tax break to individual Americans, and opted instead for a bill that gives $1,000 to contributors to the Social Security Fund. We reject the Senate bill and we move to go to conference, he said. We've done our work for the American people. Now it's up to the President and the Senate to do their work as well. House Republicans are insisting on a year-long extension of the break and want to force the Senate to return to Washington to hammer out a compromise. The House voted 229 to 193 on partisan lines to call for a meeting of lawmakers to blend the House version of the bill with the Senate bill that passed 89 to 10 on Saturday. Finally, we are out of Iraq, and it is official. In the last final tactical road march, the last U.S. troops in Iraq crossed the border into Kuwait on Sunday morning, ending almost 9 years of a deadly and divisive war. About 500 Fort Hood, Texas-based soldiers and 110 military vehicles made the journey south from Camp Adder near Nasiriyah to the Kayabari border, crossing from where they will head to Camp Virginia in Kuwait before flying home. They were the last soldiers in what amounted to the largest U.S. troop drawdown since the war in Vietnam. But we want to welcome all from the Christian Conservative, all of our soldiers that are coming back home, and we're glad to see you back home for Christmas, guys. So it's good to have you guys back. Now, let's turn our attention to our final news segment here this evening. Our eye on Israel. Britain, France, Germany, and Portugal say settler violence is damaging prospects of renewed peace talks. Russia, Palestinians slam U.S. silence on recently announced West Bank building plans. Members on the UN Security Council voiced deep concerns on Tuesday about the impasse of the Israeli-Palestinian peace process and criticized Israel for pressing ahead with the construction of new settlements. Council members were reacting to a briefing by UN Assistant Secretary General for Political Affairs, Oscar Fernandez Tarranico, who told them the search for peace remained elusive in a context of tensions on the ground, deep mistrust between the parties, and volatile regional dynamics. Representatives of Britain, France, Germany, and Portugal said Fernandez briefing made clear to the 15-nation council that Israeli settlement activity was undermining attempts to restart stalled peace talks with the Palestinians. One of the themes that emerged was the severely damaged effect that increased settlement construction and settler violence is having on the ground and on the prospects of a return to negotiations. The 4 European Union Council members said in a joint statement, Israelis' continuing announcements to accelerate the construction of settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories, including East Jerusalem, sent a devastating message, said the statement, which was read to reporters by British Ambassador Mark Lyle-Grant. The Europeans called for an immediate halt to Israeli settlement activity, adding that they hoped the government would follow through on its promises to bring settlers guilty of violence to justice without explicitly naming the United States. Russian Ambassador Churkin accused Washington of turning a blind eye to the way efforts to restart the Morban peace process have come to nothing. There's one delegation which would not hear anything about it, any kind of statement, which believes that somehow things will sort of settle themselves somehow miraculously out on their own, said Churkin. South African ambassador read a statement on behalf of the 120 national bloc of non-aligned countries that generally reiterated the European statement, describing settlement activities as illegal and the main impediment to the two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Altogether, statements criticizing Israel were made on behalf of at least 9 of the 15 council members. That means 9 of the 15 countries. Karine Peretz spokeswoman for the Israeli UN mission reacted by saying, the main obstacle to peace has been and remains the Palestinians' claim to the so-called right of return and its refusal to recognize Israel as a Jewish state. That's your Eye on Israel. And this has been your county and country news for this evening. I want you guys to stick around. When we come back, we've got a special guest with us, Miss Jessica Chambers. She is the leader of the Samaritan's Purse here locally. And they do some great work, and you're going to find out what kind of great work they do as soon as we come back, guys. We'll be back right after this.
Need money for the holidays? Well, you could get money now with an H&R Block Emerald. Need money for the holidays? Well, you could get money now with an H&R Block Emerald Advance. Bring in your latest pay stub and you could get an Emerald Advance line of credit for up to $1,000. No W-2 required. Just visit one of the local offices in Whitley City, Oneida, Jacksboro, La Follette, Sparta, or Cookeville. And get your Emerald Advance today. And remember, never settle for less. H&R Block. South Fork Antiques and Treasures is not just another antique store. They deal in only hand-picked, quality antiques, reminiscent of a time gone by. If you're looking for beautiful antiques or a unique gift idea, your first stop should be South Fork Antiques and Treasures, south side of Oneida on US 27 in the old Pemberton General Store. That's South Fork Antiques and Treasures.
Value Mart Furniture and Appliance is your home for quality name brands at an affordable price. As a Brand Source member, you can expect quality name brands such as Catnapper, Serta, Jackson Customizable Furniture, and much, much more. With financing and layaway options available, come to Value Mart Furniture and Appliance. Just off US 27 behind the Scott County School Bus Garage, that's Value Mart Furniture and Appliance. Whether you're in 4 wheels or 18, Reed's Record Service is your best friend in your hour of need. Located in Hellenwood, Tennessee, a new location coming soon to Campbell County, Tennessee, just off I-75, exit 141. Let Reed's Record Service get that vehicle where it needs to go. Reed's accepts Geico, Cross Country Motor Club, AAA, Allstate, and most major credit cards. You never know when you need a tow, so keep this number on your speed dial, 423-569-6259. That's Reed's Record Service.
Good evening. This is Lucas Hart, the Christian Conservative. Gentlemen, if you're anything like me, you have the hardest time in the world trying to find the perfect gift for your wife. Well, I figured out what I'm going to do this year, and if you're smart, you do the same. I'm going to go out to Young's Jewelry and pick me up a gift certificate so that my wife can select through their beautiful quality jewelry for herself and find a thing that she likes. Guys, this is a great idea that'll keep you out of the doghouse. And if it works out well for you, you tell them, Lucas Hart sent you, the Christian Conservative.
Are you looking for that special something for that special someone? Look no further than Young's Jewelry. Fine quality jewelry, such as the Kelly Waters Collection, lifetime warranty starting at $24 and up. Whether you're looking for wedding bands, watches, gifts, or something special for yourself, look no further than Young's Jewelry, 258 South Main Street, Oneida, Tennessee.
Well, all right, 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 just a little talk.
I have with me a very special guest, Miss Jessica Chambers, and she is run the Samaritan Purse, correct?
Well, I'm the area coordinator for Operation Christmas Child, which is a ministry of Samaritan's Purse.
Oh, okay. Now, explain to people what that is, because there's a lot of folks that don't know what that is all about.
Okay. Well, Samaritan's Purse is an organization that was started by Franklin Graham, which is the son of Billy Graham.
Okay.
And it is a lot like, when I explain it to people, I like to explain it as, it's a lot like the Red Cross.
Okay.
They go in when there's devastation from war or devastation from some type of natural disaster. They go into communities and they rebuild homes. They provide them with food. Any type of humanitarian aid they will provide for those people who have been hit either by war or natural disaster. And like I said, they kind of rebuild those communities. And Operation Christmas Child is one of their ministries they do for the children in those communities. So what they will do, for example, when Haiti had their large earthquake, they went in, they rebuilt communities, and those children were provided with shoe boxes. But not only do those kids get the shoe boxes that we pack for them here, Samaritan's Purse provides them with a 12-week discipleship program that teaches them about the gospel of Jesus Christ and how he died on the cross for us. And it's not just they come in, they tell them that, and then they leave. It's kind of like a Bible school, really, that lasts for 12 weeks. And so Samaritan's Purse provides that with every shoebox we send. They provide that to that child. And then also, once they have completed the 12-week course, they will provide them with a New Testament Bible in their own language.
Well, that's nice.
It is a really awesome ministry. It just is.
Now, where all does Samaritan Purse reach to? I mean, how far out does that ministry reach?
Well, and the Bible tells us that we're to minister to the ends of the earth, and so they really do that. There are about 130 countries that have been provided with shoe boxes since 1993.
Wow, that's great. Now, Scott County. Now, you're out of the Scott County branch, I'm assuming, or is it a county thing, or is it the whole local community thing?
Well, they have. There are 6 processing centers that actually collect shoe boxes all over America, and then for example, there's one in North Carolina, one in Atlanta, and one in Boone, and those that's where they kind of sort through the shoe boxes into, because you can choose whether you want to pack a box for a boy or a girl and the age group that you want to provide a shoebox for. And so you can choose 2 to 4, 5 to 9, or 10 to 14. And you could, like I said, you can choose boy or girl. Now, when we take them which we're at, our relay center is at the Boys and Girls Club in Scott County, and we've been there for 3 years. And National Collection Week is always the 3rd week in November, so it's always the week before Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
And so we collect shoe boxes for the that entire week. It goes from a Monday to a Monday, and all we do is really put them in cartons, and then we take them, and which really all the Relay Center does is provides them, churches, individuals, with an opportunity to drop the box here at a less price to them. So
there is locally then a center,
a drop-off center,
and that's in Scott County, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is.
But so now we serve here on this show and in here at the station. We serve 5 local counties. We have McCreary County, Whitney County, Campbell County, Morgan County, and Scott County. Okay. So could any of those other counties, if they needed a place to drop, want to do shoe boxes and drop someone off, could they bring that to the same center?
Yes, there is a drop-off location in Campbell County. It is at the First Baptist Church there in La Follette. And they can drop their boxes there if they're in Campbell County. I'm not aware of a Morgan County drop-off. So they could either drop theirs in Fentress County at the First Baptist Church in Jamestown, or they could drop them at the Scott County location at the Boys and Girls Club there.
Okay. And that's done for this year, you said,
right,
correct?
Exactly.
But this is just getting geared up for next year.
Exactly. Now, if somebody did want to pack a box this year, they can go online. It's $35. That includes because they request that you put in a $7 fee to help them ship the boxes to wherever they're going to go. And so that includes that fee, but you can choose and select all of the items that you want. You kind of get to shop online, and they pack your box for you. And
so
and
you
then
can go on and you just pay to have them get all the stuff together for you and put it in a box and ship it. So that's just That's for people, I guess, like that get really good and busy. They can just call in and have somebody else pack a box for them.
Yeah, and you can still do that. They're still processing boxes now, so you could still do that. But we don't actually collect in the relay centers, whether it be Campbell County or Fentress County or Scott County. We don't actually do that until that, like I said, that third week in November. Right. Okay, so, okay. Which is National Collection Week. Right. And you know, Samaritan's Purse, I know they do real big things here at Christmas time, but they pretty much help out all year round. All year round. When the tornadoes hit in Joplin, they were there. They were one of the first organizations there. They rebuild homes for people. They help clean up messes. When the hurricanes hit in North Carolina, they were there. I'm sure there's ways people can get involved with them in that capacity too. If they want to. Now, do you know how to contact or to get a hold of them in that capacity? Samaritan's Purse.org. And if you're interested in any of the cleanup, they always have a ministry there open for rebuilding. If you're into construction and you want to volunteer to help clean up some of those areas. And this is all Christian, godly based. This isn't United Way. This is right. That's the difference between like the Red Cross and Samaritan's Purse. Is they actually spread the gospel. When they go into these communities, they're sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ with them. Well, that's a blessing. That is such a blessing. I tell you, we're going to get ready to take a quick commercial break, and Jessica, you'll stick around for a little bit and talk to us a little bit about this. Got some questions for you. And I think my wife and I one time, we had participated in that with some shoe boxes in our church and things, and we'll talk about that a little bit also too, and let people know what a blessing it can be to them. Exactly. You know, and so we'll talk about that stuff when we get back. And this is the Christian Conservative. Remember, he that hath an ear, let him hear. We'll be back right after this.
Someone, look no further than Young's Jewelry. Fine quality jewelry, such as the Kelly Waters Collection, lifetime warranty starting at $24 and up. Whether you're looking for wedding bands, watches, gifts, or something special for yourself, look no further than Young's Jewelry, 258 South Main Street, Oneida, Tennessee. Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance. Your one-stop shop for all your appliance needs. Whether you need a stove, refrigerator, washer, dryer, or other amenities, come to Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance. Choose from quality name brands such as Whirlpool, Maytag, Frigidaire, and many others. With financing and layaway options available, come to Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance. Just off US 27 behind the Scott County School Bus Garage. That's Value Mart, Furniture and Appliance.
Hello, I'm Lucas Hart, the Christian Conservative. Are you tired of the department store rat race and all those made-for-China products out there today? Well, let me tell you how you can do a little bit better this year for Christmas. Go on out to South Fork Antiques and Treasures and get your loved ones a gift card for whatever specified amount you want, or get them a beautiful gift basket and they'll ship it to anywhere that you need them to. They have amazing antiques and neat old-time general store merchandise. It's an amazing and unique and original place to go Christmas shopping this year. So check them out. South Fork Antiques and Treasures.
South Fork Antiques and Treasures is not just another antique store. They're your home for local artisans. All your handmade and homemade local craftsmanship can be found at South Fork Antiques and Treasures. If you're looking for beautiful quiltings, paintings, glass art, woodworking, handcrafted gourds, local souvenirs, and much, much more, don't go all the way to Gatlinburg. Just stop in at South Fork Antiques and Treasures, South Oneida on US 27 in the old Pemberton building. South Fork Antiques and Treasures.
Whether you're in 4 wheels or 18, Reach Record Service is your best friend in your hour of need. Located in Hellenwood, Tennessee, a new location coming soon to Campbell County, Tennessee, just off I-75 exit 141. Let Reach Record Service get that vehicle where it needs to go. Reach accepts Geico, Cross Country Motor Club, AAA, Allstate, and most major credit cards. You never know when you need a tow, so keep this number on your speed dial, 423-569-6259. That's Reach Record Service.
Didn't use H&R Block? Then bring your return in for a free second look review. Last year we found differences on 2 out of 3 tax returns prepared by someone else. We'll check for missed deductions and credits to help make sure you get the maximum refund you're entitled to. We'll also certify whether or not your original return is accurate. Join the thousands of clients who have received more money with an H&R Block second look review. Whether you live in Whitley City, Oneida, Jacksboro, Follett, Sparta, or Cookeville, never settle for less. H&R Block.
This being my final address, I would like to thank the American people for all the money they have let me spend. It has been a great 4 years. I have got to go on vacations I would never have gotten to go on if it was not for taxpayer money. Thank you for the blank check. I am thankful that after I leave office I will get paid for the rest of my life. So in some small way I will get to continue to waste taxpayer money. After this I plan to move to a different country to be their president so I can help run their country and the ground also. I hear Greece might have an opening. So this is farewell. It has been real fun. At least for me. Allah bless. I mean God bless America.
All right, we are back here with my guest, Ms. Jessica Chambers, and we're talking about the Samaritan's Purse, and more specifically, the Operation Christmas Child, which is a real blessing. That is where you get to take a shoebox and you load that thing down with these different goodies and things like that, and they ship them to, I guess, whatever. Now, do you choose where it goes, or do you do?
No, you don't get to choose where it goes, but you can, if you go online and donate your $7, you can get a label. You can print that out and put that on your shoebox, and they will scan it just like UPS does. And it will tell you where it goes. And our box, one of our boxes that we sent this year, I already got an email saying that it went to South Africa. And so they will send you out an email and tell you exactly where it goes and the location. So.
Wow. So, well, I guess my question is, then, how do you know to put it in the box? You know?
Well, there are, of course, we do brochures, which I put out in several different locations, but you can really just kind of go and let your heart lead you, because that's the most awesome thing about these boxes is you don't know who's going to get your box, right. But God already knows. He knows exactly who's getting your box when you're packing it, and he will place on your heart what that child needs. I have heard so many testimonies of people who have delivered boxes say that they've never been in a country where it's hot all the time, and somebody got in a scarf and a boggin.
Right,
because God
right.
takes care of, he takes care of all that stuff. So,
right.
But typically, when I pack a box, I like to put soap and a washcloth.
Things that can be used anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And a toothbrush and a toothpaste. Those are the 4 kind of main necessities that I like to put in a shoebox. And then depending on the age category, any blow-up things are really good to put in there because they're compact. You can put them in there. But then when they get there, like, for example, a beach ball or one of those little blow-up guitars or whatever.
So anything you want to get, you're talking about shoebox size, so anything that you can get down to shoebox size and as much of it as you can possibly pack in there, the better.
Exactly, yeah. Coloring books, pencils, those are really big, they say. And the kids really enjoy school supplies, those kinds of things.
Well, what I guess my concern was you probably want to lean away from things that could have a problem with a language barrier.
Right. They do recommend, like, picture books, instead of, like, words with books. They do have a translator who's there on site when they deliver the box. So if you put a note in there, somebody's going to read that note to them. But they don't want you to put any kind of war-related items in there because... Right,
or propaganda of any sort and things like
and
that. Right,
no liquid. Like, you can do bar soap, but you can do liquid soap or shampoos because of shipping purposes. Because those regulations. So.
Right, so I guess there's a lot that, I'm sure there's a lot of detail. To me, it's fascinating because it really is a blessing to where a person can actually get to be in great contact with people. Now, our church and some members of our church did this. How long ago was that, babe, that we did this? My beautiful wife here back behind stage, she's the one that runs this show. I just get to talk on camera. So, but anyway, though, we did this a while back, and I remember it was such a blessing because we got to put a little piece of you gets to go there and be shipped to another country. The kids like to make little crafts to put in those things. Absolutely. Sometimes too, just little gift items, and maybe getting your kids involved in something like that, and they get to see take what little bit that they take for granted, which is stuff that you take for granted, goes over to these places. And I've seen videos on this with Brother Graham showing this to people and stuff. And you see what you think is just so trivial and nonsensical. I know. They look at it as just it's amazing.
Absolutely. Now one of our boxes last year went to South Africa again, and the little girl, there was a little girl and a little boy that lived with their grandparents, and they had written. Evidently, they were maybe at a school that had an English teacher, because it just depends. If your box goes to an orphanage, it's more likely that you're going to going to get a letter back because they're probably going to have like an English teacher there. The grandparents may have been able to. I don't know. We haven't had more contact with them yet. But we did get a letter back. He got a postcard from his little boy who got his box, and he had an older sister, which was the same age as my daughter. So we're going to try to send necessities back. So it was just really neat.
So you actually sometimes get in contact with actually somebody that you're giving this to.
Yeah.
And
if you put a letter in there and put your address, then they may potentially, I've heard testimonies before about there was one lady who had sent her box, and 9 years later, the child who had got her box had grown up, learned English, learned to write English, and had actually sent her a letter 9 years later, held on to that. So you're making such a big impact when you pack a box. And like you said, it really is a blessing for you as well as for them. That's just how God works. He's just so awesome. So the stories that I heard at the Relay Center this year, there were several where people just came in. It was their first time packing. They had seen a brochure, and they just said, we were just having a rough time at my house, and my son, like for example, this one lady came in, and her son, he hadn't been out of the house for several months because he was, very upset, and the first time he left his house was to go, shopping for these shoe boxes, and so, it was just a real big blessing to hear that, and anybody I have ever come in contact with, if you are doing anything with the ministry, you're getting a blessing. It's just there's no way to not be blessed by it.
Right, and it's something. Now, what about the? I'm sure there's financial obligations they have to meet in order to get all of this stuff all over the place of the world. Can people donate or help out in that capacity also?
Exactly.
Too?
Yes, you can go online now, even still, and just donate money to them. Like I said, you could still pack a box, online. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, if you're packing your box, you pack your box, you get an envelope. If you don't have that, when you bring it into the drop-off location, they'll have some envelopes there, and you'll put your money down the envelope and put it in your box. Like I said, we don't process anything at the Relay Center. We simply put it in the carton and ship it at the end of the week. Once we've collected all of them, we ship it to the processing center, which, like I said, there were 6 of those across the nation, and that's where they will take out any money envelopes and process those there, and then they send receipts out, and for people who may want to use it for tax purposes or whatever, they will send out a receipt saying that you've donated this amount, and then they will, like I said, start sorting the boxes into 2 to 4.
So it goes strictly by donations for the most part, other than they can do the pack a box for you for $35. But other than that, it's all strictly donations.
Exactly,
and that's great. And so you can pack a box and just donate whatever you think the Lord leads on your heart to be able to send that. So that, I'll tell you what, guys, this is a blessing. If you get a chance to get involved in this, this is really a blessing of a ministry. Like I was saying, our church did this, and some of our church folks did this, and we got involved with some other folks. We got some friends out at Liberty Baptist Church too, good friends of ours, and they had done this they do this every year, I think, actually, if I'm not mistaken. They usually put together quite a few of those, and it is really a blessing to just be able to get involved with those boxes. They become very personal.
They do.
And you're putting that stuff in there, and it's like you would be amazed at how picky you get. We're not picky a lot of times what we buy our kids for Christmas, and because you got this much room to send some kid over in some country who's probably never gotten a gift in his life. Yep. And you're just trying to make sure that you put the right stuff in there
and too, it represents the gift, the most awesome gift, which is the gift of Jesus.
Absolutely.
And so that's really what the representation, when Samaritan's Purse came up with Operation Christmas Child, that was their goal, was to provide these. And used to, back in 1993 when they first started, it wasn't something that the students or the children who got the boxes actually were provided with the discipleship program. That's new. That's recent. Within the past few years, they've started doing that. But the people who first got the box, in the early years, they just got the box. But that was enough to represent for many of those the gift of Jesus, and that there's somebody who doesn't know you but cares so much about you that they spent time to pack a box for you.
Right. Well, that is an absolute blessing. I know we have one more commercial break that we need to take, and when we take that break, we will be right back. as soon as Joseph gets us ready back there. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. We've got about maybe 7-8 minutes left when we come back. So make sure you guys stick around. Remember, he hath an ear, let him hear. We're here with the Samaritan's Purse, so we'll be back after this.
Whether you're in 4 wheels or 18, Reed's Record Service is your best friend in your hour of need. Located in Hellewood, Tennessee, a new location coming soon to Campbell County, Tennessee, just off I-75, exit 141. Let Reed's Record Service get that vehicle where it needs to go. Reed's accepts Geico, Cross Country Motor Club, AAA, Allstate, and most major credit cards. You never know when you need a tow, so keep this number on your speed dial, 423-569-6259. That's Reed's Record Service.
Hello, ladies. This is Lucas Hart, the Christian Conservative. Are you having trouble finding your man the perfect gift idea this year? And let's face it, you don't want to get him another one of those Christmas sweaters. Get him something he'll love. Go out and see Dennis and Judy at Tennessee Outdoors and get him a gift card for whatever specified amount you want. And that way he can pick out his own hunting and fishing supplies when the season comes around. I promise you, as a guy, he will love it. Tell him Lucas Hart sent you, the Christian Conservative. Thanks for watching.
Tennessee Outdoors. Whether you're going hunting, camping, fishing, or hiking, you need to come to Tennessee Outdoors. We got all the tools and equipment you need to make your outing a success. Remember, before you go outdoors in Tennessee, you need to come to Tennessee Outdoors. Right next to Value Mart, just off US 27 behind the Scott County School Bus Garage. That's Tennessee Outdoors.
Why come into a local H&R Block office? For tax professional expertise. We work with the IRS to stay up to date on changes in the tax law and translate all IRS rules into a language you can understand. Our tax professionals receive extensive hours of training to find differences others may miss. Our tax professionals provide guidance and advice tailored to your tax situation. We have a 100% accuracy guarantee to get every dollar you deserve and tax audit support in case the IRS comes calling. With flexible and convenient hours, stop into a local office today and never settle for less. H&R Block.
Are you looking for that special something for that special someone? Look no further than Young's Jewelry. Fine quality jewelry, such as the Kelly Waters Collection, lifetime warranty starting at $24 and up. Whether you're looking for wedding bands, watches, gifts, or something special for yourself, look no further than Young's Jewelry, 258 South Main Street, Oneida, Tennessee.
South Fork Antiques and Treasures is not just another antique store. Step back in time at the old general store. Do you have a hankering for old-fashioned candy, some South Fork special ciders, some sweet local honey, or maybe you're looking for a unique gift basket or a timeless souvenir? Don't drive all the way to Gatlinburg. Just stop in to South Fork Antiques and Treasures, South Oneida on US 27 in the old Pemberton building. That's South Fork Antiques and Treasures.
Gentlemen, what should be our policy on illegal immigration?
First off, we need to close our borders. But I think we should be compassionate to those who have been here for more than 25 years. Gentlemen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. 999. I think we need to build not just a wall, but a dome around all of America, and maybe even have our own sun. And if people don't like that, then well, they can just get their own sun. Are you with immigration?
No.
Then we should let all illegals stay, and possibly elect one president again. I mean, for the first time. This is really hard without a teleprompter.
right, we are back. I am Lucas Hart, Christian Conservative, and before we get back talking with Miss Jessica Chambers here from the I keep messing that name up. Operation Christmas Gift. I know the Samaritan's Purse. I'm very familiar with that, but Operation Christmas Child. That's it. Before we get back talking about that, though, I've got to mention a few things about some of our sponsors that wanted me to mention. Some great stuff going on here for Christmas, guys. Value Mart Furniture has got some really, really good deals going on right now, and if it's something that you're interested in getting some furniture, you need to go check them out. Right now, they have got a washer and dryer set for $688 that they're selling. They have a cat napper recliners for $299. If you buy a $500 mattress set or more, you get these free body forming pillows. They're really nice. Really nice Tempur-Pedic type pillows, and they also too have got dishwashers right now on sale for less than $299. So guys, get out there and check them out. They've got some really, really good deals right now. You're not going to find much better than you have right now. And also, too, go check out Young's Jewelry right now. They're running some big sales, and they are going to have, they've got up to, what was it, babe? Matter of fact, I just bought my wife some jewelry today for Christmas, so, so I know this firsthand. They have got some sales going on out there, guys, that are was it 20% off, 35% off, and 50% off some of their jewelry right now for Christmas. So, guys, make sure you go check them out. They're even going to be open Christmas Eve from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So make sure you go check them out, guys. No excuse. There's no excuse. And if your wife's mad at you because you didn't get her any jewelry this year, well, that's your fault. All right? What's that? Oh, and South Fork. Yes, I need to mention some things that they've got going on. They got some really great deals going on right now too. They have got a deal going on with gift cards, man. These gift cards are a great idea. They've also got some specials running for the Christmas season. But better than that, here's what they do. This is one of the neat tricks that they do. They will ship whatever you want to buy. You got a little Taste Tennessee. It's a beautiful little general store, neat little place. And they will take whatever you get, and they will ship it to wherever you need it shipped to, guys. This is a great Christmas idea, especially for folks that may be out of town. So make sure you go check out South Fork Antiques and Treasures there also. But let's get back here to Miss Jessica. Sorry about that, but we gotta make sure that we take care of our sponsors. They're the one that makes this show possible, and we're very thankful to them.
Well, we know how that works. The Operation Christmas Child, everything is volunteer. They are anything that's done for Operation Christmas Child in our county is completely voluntary. So
wow, that's a blessing. That is a blessing. Yeah, and so everything's voluntary. You said you were just talking in the break there that everything is voluntary from the not only just from locally, but even the whole apparatus.
Any
is voluntary.
relay center or processing center is always worked or manned by volunteers. Wow,
that's great. That is great. And then, of course, all the work that they do with other things too, helping people with different things throughout the year, tragedies and things like that. Yeah. That is amazing, guys. This is something to get involved in, and it's open. It doesn't matter what church you go to. Any church you go to in the county, it is open to this. This is it's non-denominational. It's not necessarily ecumenical, but it is non-denominational. It's one of them things where they're going to just, I guess, present the gospel message in whatever language those people. Now, do you put your own tracts in those, or do they supply that part?
You can, but every child who gets a box gets a book that's called The Greatest Journey, and it really does kind of go from the birth of Christ through the crucifixion, right. And it just kind of, it has a really good picture portrayal for those children, but then also has the story in there, and it's more written in story form. It's more like a book. It's written in story form in their language, but then, like I said, they do get a New Testament Bible in their language that is not in story format. It's a biblical format.
Okay, so they do that. They supply that with each one of them. So
yes.
Okay, and so you have the other one. So basically. Now, is it all going to kids? Is it just kids that they hand these out to with the Christmas gift child?
Yeah, the Operation Christmas Child does just provide gifts from 2 to 14 is typically the range. Now, I'm not sure if there was a child there that was 16 that they wouldn't get a box. Maybe that they would see if they had like an older, like the 14 kind of age range box.
Now, do they open these boxes to make sure the stuff that's in them is
at the processing centers? Yeah, they don't do that at relay centers. Like at the Boys and Girls Club, we do not go through any of those. But at the processing centers, they do make sure that every box is jam packed. So if you only had enough to fill up half of a box,
they'd find stuff to put in the rest.
Yes, they would. They have businesses that donate items that are left over, and like little teddy bears or pencils,
things that could fit in a box.
That they would pack all of those just completely up with. So Then they also make sure there are no liquids and then no military or war-related toys. So
right.
if they're in there, they
so
take
you can't
those
have
out.
G.I. Joe action figures and things like that.
No, G.I. Joe action figures, no.
So. All right. Well, guys, before we get out of here, I have a few quick questions. How can people get in contact with you if they need to? I know we've been running this at the bottom of the screen, but you know, if they're like me, they don't read half the time. They're just watching our beautiful faces here on television. So,
all right. Well, if they would like to, if you're an organization or a church that would like to start packing boxes, please email me at jhkchambers@gmail.com, or you can call me at 423-539-1112. And I would gladly get you any materials that you need to start that in your church or your business. It doesn't have to be church or any type of Christian organization, really. Any business.
So anyone can be a part of this.
Anybody can be a part of this. Exactly.
Right, okay.
Exactly. It does have a Christian message. So,
you know, you atheists, you just have to deal with that.
You know, if you're an atheist and you don't, then, you know, you might not want to pack a box, but
you know, we'll get United Way or something.
It will spread the gospel. So if you're going to do it as an organization, just make sure that. I mean, but we do it at school. There are several schools that pack boxes. It's not because what we're doing when we're packing boxes is not violating the church and state amendment because all they're doing is packing a box. What happens after they pack the box is what's spreading the gospel. So
gotcha. Okay.
All we need you guys to do is pack a box.
Right. So schools can even do it then too.
Absolutely. So anybody, individuals, organizations, schools, churches, any type of if you just want to be blessed and be a blessing to a child, then pack a box. It's just a great opportunity. And now is a great opportunity to start, if you're an organization, to start packing now. Start, you know, getting items month by month. Like maybe make January bar soap month. Everybody brings in bar soap, and then have a huge packing party when it comes to be
you can make this fun. This can be fun. Yes, it can. Well, that's about all the time that we have for this evening. Want you guys make sure you want to thank Miss Jessica so much for coming out and talking to us about this, the Operation Christmas Child and the I got it right. And the from the Samaritan's Purse, which is a ministry of Samaritan's Purse. So, guys, get involved in this. This is a great thing. We've done it before. It's a blessing to you. It'll bless you to death. Actually, or bless you to life, whichever way you want to look at it. It'll be good for you. Get involved in this. Now, also, too, guys, stay tuned because next week I got a very special show coming up. It is going to be our Christmas special. Or I should get back. It's going to be our holiday special because it's going to be not because I don't believe in saying Merry Christmas. I do, but because it's going to be between Christmas and New Year. So it's going to be our holiday special. Make sure you stay tuned to that. It's got going to have a lot of great stuff in it. A lot of great little interviews, great little segments. So, guys, make sure you stay focused, stay tuned to this program, stay informed on things going around in our community, okay? Until the next time, he that hath an ear, let him hear.
I hope that everyone has been working on their evolution paper due next week.
Yes, ma'am, I have. See.
But Johnny, that is just a bunch of random scribble.
But if evolution is true, then by next week it should make sense.